Lately I've been feeling things change. We've been working hard, no sleep, get it every day. And I swear that we ain't stopping till we pay. Yeah, the pressure on, gotta make it work. Triple play, yeah.
This is Triple Play Fantasy Basketball, Week 13. Coach Lewis on one end, Doc on the other, with the full games on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. A lot of basketball. You got to get your lineups out there early because you know the NBA is a showcase on this day all throughout. We missed you yesterday, but I think it was, I don't know. I think it's timely that we're doing this right before things kick off. Make sure you set your lineups. There's a lot of things going on as far as stream days, games played. We'll talk about all of that and try to get you in better position to win your week. Doc Mendelson on the other end. What up?
You know, I got to give you credit, Coach. You got MLK stuff in the background. You know, you get festive. You get in for each week. You don't keep the background consistent. I got to give you kudos on that.
Although when LeBron won the in-season tournament, it was LeBron for like 4 weeks. And you gave me a hard time, so I changed it up. I switched it up. Yeah, I like the MLK threads. I'm a fan of the jersey, and
you can tell Coach is a student of the game. Look at how much basketball he had. Now, albeit it's mostly LeBron and Kobe in the background.
What game you most tuned into today, though? The Pistons and the Wizards kick things off at 3. You got the Thunder and Lakers tonight.
So I'm gonna let you know that the rest of the season is determined by betting. And I have a lot of money on the 76ers unders. So them versus the Rockets at 1 o'clock. And we'll get into why.
Betting is it's kind of hard to do sometimes with all these injuries and, you know, just I don't know.
That's why I bet unders. That's why I bet unders. I bet unders on these injuries.
It's so rampant right now. With and there'll be like a couple games. Some of them are like season ending, and we're going to talk about the Grizzlies quite a bit. It's going to be a Grizzlies pod because they're the most fantasy relevant team based on, you know, Ja going out and Desmond Bain going out and Marcus Smart going out.
Coach, you know when it's like 4th and 13 and a team, like what do? They punt. That's what the Grizzlies need to do on their season.
Or they give it to Ray Rice. What was that, 4th and 27?
Yeah.
I think it's the Ravens' year. You heard it first here. And
you heard it first from the number 1 seed in the AFC that has a bye.
You heard it here first.
Oh, gosh. This is why.
I enjoyed the Cowboys getting slaughtered yesterday. Oh, so much. I'm a Commanders fan, folks. That's you know, my life sucks as far as being a fan of football. Before we get into games played, Doc's going to talk about Underdog.
Look, you know, we haven't been pushing it as much this season, but Underdog Fantasy, use promo code TRIPLE. Like we're going to talk about what Luke Kennard hits, and they're going to deposit your match up to $100. That's free money. Fantasy basketball still rolling around. Fantasy baseball getting ready. So just check it out if you haven't, and we got you some free money. So nice of us.
Triple like Luke Kennard. Let's just start there. We had mentioned that the Memphis Grizzlies backcourt is completely depleted. They got, you know, G League players getting contracts like Vince Williams Jr. got a 3-year, close to $8 million. Which, you know, when you're going from $500,000, that's a big uplift to your life.
So happy.
He's playing well. So they got to find somewhere to get buckets. So Luke Kennard's gonna get his usage. With him having more ball opportunities, his assists ideally can crank up. He's a player. If you look at these stats that are familiar with people like Bogdanovich, when you think of like Grayson Allen, like you can find these type of guys, but with an uptick in usage, he is worth a look here. Point guard, shooting guard eligible, only 25% rostered in the last week, 13 points, 5 boards, 4 assists, 3 threes. He will do that. He will give you threes, but if he's getting some rebounds, if he's getting some assists, when he's shooting 50% from a 3-point line, he's worth a look. What say you?
So all the injuries we've talked about to Ja Morant, to Desmond Bane to Marcus Smart is to the backcourt. So I think if you're going to look at Memphis guys, you're going to look in the backcourt first. Luke Kennard, season high 33 minutes yesterday two days ago against the Knicks. 14 points, took 13 shot attempts. That's the most he's had this season now, albeit more than half are threes. I'm liking what I'm seeing a little bit more from the rebounds and assists. 5 rebounds, 4 assists over the last week. That would put him on pace for a career high for a season. Now, do I think he's going to keep that up? No. But I think before he used to depend on him just for points, specifically threes. And now I think he's giving you a little bit more in other categories. Not much from the defensive end, but I think he's going to give you more from the offensive standpoint.
Somebody's giving you a little bit from the defensive end, is getting some steals, and that's Vince Williams Jr. I mean, last game, 17 points, 8 boards, 8 dimes, 2 steals. You know, that's a 12-team, 10-league guy based on that game alone. Now, will that be consistent? Maybe. I mean, the last 4 games, 36 minutes, 27 minutes, 30 minutes, 37 minutes. That means that he's found a role that he's playing on this team, and that's a 2-week sample size of 11, 6, and nearly 4 assists. Not shooting the ball greatly, but I see that increasing.
I mean, last year in 15 games, he averaged 7 minutes. He shot 14% from 3, 0.3 assists. Like, this is just a huge jump we're seeing from year 1 to year 2. Now, the opportunity to, but still, I mean, that's the name of the game sometimes when you get to this point in the season, right?
In a pick'em, who you got? Kennard, Vince Williams Jr.
Vince Williams.
Okay, I'll go Kennard. So we'll see how that plays out. I like when we disagree. But the conversation with the Grizzlies doesn't stop here. Xavier Tillman is making a comeback here.
What was his nickname?
Tilly? I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Start breaking out the nicknames on the show.
Yeah, as you all know, and it says 68% right. He's 44% roster. You can find him. It's all good. You can find him in more available places. And if you streamed him like I did, I got 6 steals. Man, what a category mover. And he does provide some of that defensive stats. Now, we've seen him kind of fall off of a cliff as far as playing time is concerned. You don't know, but when he is playing, like he did last game, he's definitely a dog in categories leagues because of his defensive stats. They dropped Bismack Biyombo, so ideally, like they have some faith in him. I mean, they're invested in him, and if he's getting starters minutes, he's definitely a guy to be rostered right now. We mentioned David Roddy because he's playing some of those minutes. Last week, 14 points, 5 boards. He's not my favorite fantasy guy because I don't like the consistency. And one person graphic we don't have is Gigi Jackson. He popped off for 20 points. And when you think about this Memphis Grizzlies roster, they are going to struggle to get buckets by anybody. And he's one kid that, and especially when you're kind of tanking or you're folding the season because of injuries, Gigi Jackson might be somebody you want to get ahead of the curve. What say you?
Yeah, so I think from Xavier Tillman, I mean, he was one of the first guys we talked about, cover boy in week 2 for fantasy ads. That 6 stocks, boy, I mean, that's an honorable mention in the steals court. That you keep that up, Xavier Tillman. You got my eye a little bit. 6 steals. I mean, he's great from the defensive end. He's averaging 2.1 stocks on the season. Now, albeit that's with the minutes fluctuating. I watched the Mavs Grizzlies game the other night. David Roddy scored 11 points, and they were all in like a 3-minute span, just being a dog. He built like a linebacker, him and Tillman. I wish we could tell you what to expect from the Grizzlies the rest of the season, but I don't think we can. We're basing it off of the last 3 to 4 games since Bane, since John Morant, since Marcus Smart have been out, and we're looking at the minutes, but that might not be indicative of what they do in the future. As we said, they did cut Bismack Biyombo. We thought they might have kept him had they been struggling. So just pay attention because there are going to be fantasy just making sure that you're on top of it.
Yeah, and it makes you think about Jaren Jackson Jr. too and his fantasy relevance and whether they should just like limit his playing time because of, he's always had leg injuries his whole career, knee injuries. Like, you got to think like, and obviously he's going to increase his usage, which means his efficiency probably going to go down.
He already wasn't having the best season to begin with.
Yeah, he's got left knee soreness. That's what he missed last game. So like, I'd be concerned if I was a fantasy owner of Jaren Jackson Jr. and the implications going forward of the season on whether they should kind of be a little bit more cautious here and try to get somebody in the lottery to help your team going forward, because it's a damn good team when everyone is healthy.
Yeah.
All right, health. Halliburton. He just missed a major injury, but he's going to miss some time. And right now they're giving TJ McConnell a look. They're giving Andrew Nembhard a look. And TJ McConnell, when he plays, he gets you dimes and steals. So for categories leagues, he's a darling, and he shoots a high percentage from the field against Atlanta, 14 dimes, 3 steals. So he's definitely worth streaming until you get Halliburton back in play. But Nembhard is mid. I mean, Nembhard is an option as well. I'd rather go with TJ, though.
Yeah, I mean, Coach, you and I are agreeing here. The thing about TJ, he's a handcuff. And you talk about the steals. Not last game against the Nuggets, he didn't. But before that, he had 5 games with double-digit steals. 14 assists in one of those games, 10 assists in the other. No lower than 5 assists in any of those games. So solid floor on there. I am surprised that he isn't shooting a better percentage from 3. He's shooting 6.3% from 3 this year. Now, you look at last year, it was 44.1%. So I don't understand the big drop-off. And he's being hesitant to shoot it, too. He's not taking more than 2 threes a game. So I don't know why we're not seeing him shoot it. But, I mean, Coach, I didn't really even want to talk about Nembhard this week. You did. He had back-to-back games of double-digit points. I mean, he had 6 and 7 assists, so I see why we're talking about him here. But he's kind of mid.
Yeah. Well, and you said double-digit steals for McConnell. You meant more than two or more.
Or yeah.
Which he does that, but I think he's made like 1 3 on the season, which is I thought he used to make threes at some point.
I thought so too. I was surprised looking it up. He wasn't.
Like he's not he never was a great one, but he would make them. I don't know. It makes you just question. Well, and then so him and Nembhard basically split minutes here. Nembhard had a certain point in the season last year in his rookie year where he was fantasy relevant, and so just I don't know. He's mentioned because he's getting minutes in this time. But yeah, I don't have much else nice to say.
Andrew Nembhard doesn't have a block this season, and rumors are they're trading him to the Raptors to complete their Canadian team.
Let's go. I'm all in for it. Send Wiggins over there too. Because God knows Golden State needs Pascal. We've been hammering that drum. Now, Isaiah Jackson, right now, on the surface, you just look right there. You're like 9 points, 4 boards. He's playing around 20 minutes in like the last 3 games. Dude, that's in categories league, that's fantasy relevant because his blocks per minute is just wild. He's getting steals too. Like that's 2 steals, 2 blocks in the last week, 80% from the field. Sticks is proven. And Jalen Smith, Baltimore's finest. He's just not a really good basketball player. Fantasy owners have been trying to hammer the drum on play Isaiah Jackson more for 2.5 seasons now. Even if he gets like 5 more minutes, he's super relevant. Just somebody that should be on your watch list. And right now, you're streaming for defensive stats at the end of the week, but like keep an eye on him. If he does finally get to that 25 to 30 minute a game, you need him.
Yeah, they finally need to free him. Like they have such a log jam in the front court, and Isaiah Jackson will put up stats, and then they bench him. 7 stocks over the last 2 games, over the last 3 games. He didn't have one yesterday in 20 minutes, which is actually surprising. Coach, we talk about the blocks upside. He's 4th in the league in blocks per 36 minutes, behind Jaren Jackson Jr., Blocker Kessler, and Bismack Biyombo. He'd be averaging 3.2 blocks per 36 minutes. That can help win you a category in its own. Good field goal percentage. We're looking at 80%. I do wish he was getting a little bit more rebounds. He did have 7 last game in 20 minutes, which was almost a season high for him. He did have 9 earlier this year. But, I mean, the big thing is, like, with Indiana, we don't know. We've seen this before. They tease us. We salivate. We demand. We beg for more Isaiah Jackson. We ask for Ijax, and then they bench him. So keep in mind, somebody that just has upside if Jalen Smith or Miles Turner does get hurt. It seems like those three are the big guys that rotate at the forward center position. So we can cross our fingers and hope.
And that Atlanta game, 4 steals, 3 blocks, plus 11 in 18 minutes. Like,
Oh,
it
gosh.
screams, play the man. All right, somebody that we're hoping to increase his playing time is Marvin Bagley III. He just got traded to the Wizards, who obviously he goes from one bad team to another, but the Wizards' front court is not logjam like Detroit. So we're thinking he should get some opportunity, maybe play alongside a shooter like Kyle Kuzma on a season. 10 points, 4.5 boards, 59% from the floor. This is 18 minutes. So you add that per 36, that's 20 and 9 in a block and really good efficiency, no threes. More of a points league guy, but somebody to watch. And right now he's hurt, so you can put him on your IR if you have that slated spot.
There's a reason he's 7% rostered. Coach, my favorite thing about making this slide, we made the exact same one a couple of years ago when he went to Detroit, and it was the same thing at the bottom. New place resurgence ?
Were you a Bagley guy coming out of college? Like,
I was.
Did you think he should have gone number 2?
I think he should have gone early. I wouldn't say number 2, but I also think he went to a team that didn't use him correctly.
I mean, agreed, but he's proven that he's not the best NBA player. But
I mean, he got hurt. He's had a couple injuries. It kind of reminds me of Jabari Walker, where yes, he didn't have the best career, but injuries didn't help.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
Luka at number 3 though.
Were you always an advocate of Luka at 3?
No,
or did you think he should have gone
2? I didn't know enough. Honestly, I thought Bagley should have went 2, and I would love Trae Young. So, I mean, obviously, but hindsight 2020, it's like, okay, it was a no-brainer that Luka was there. Luka should have went 1 to the Suns.
How many draft picks have worked out for the Kings minus De'Aaron Fox and DeMarcus Cousins? They've missed on a lot of picks.
Yeah. You still going with Keegan Murray is better than Franz Wagner?
Yeah, for now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Franz is hurt. I mean, he's not really helping my case, but Keegan played, 20 minutes of cardio last night with his 2 points. We'll move on. Inconsistency, which you find from a second-year player. Paul Reed, 8.5, 2.5 blocks, 1.5 steals. When Joel Embiid misses time like he does, he becomes fantasy relevant. He's not going to score a lot of points, but in categories leagues, he's worth a stream when Embiid does not play.
It's funny. The fantasy basketball community hates him, and I get it. He picks up a lot of fouls per minute, and he isn't going to give you a high scoring upside. But like we talked about, from categories leagues, 8.7 rebounds, 9.9 rebounds. He had 5 stocks last game, 3 stocks the game before that. He doesn't shoot a bad percentage from the field, really. He's not giving you anything from 3. 2 assists per game for a big man is good. And what I think is important to note about Embiid is I think you have to play 65 games to be eligible for MVP. If he misses like 4 or 5 more games for the rest of the season, he's ineligible. So that might have less incentive for the 76ers to play him on back-to-backs if he's not eligible to try to defend the crown. So they might rest him more games. I mean, I think he's missed 14 of the last 24. So I know Embiid is supposed to come back, but I don't think that means he's healthy rest of season.
Well, I mean, I think he's still favored to win the MVP at this mark. Based
Jokic
on
is.
It's Jokic has taken over that.
Jokic 1, SGA 2, Embiid 3.
Oh, I mean, I don't know about that.
This is the betting guy.
Bro, he's 35-12.
Okay, but it's also games and team success.
He's better than he was last year.
It's team success. It's voter fatigue. It's availability.
I don't know.
All right, put
That
your money
voter
on.
fatigue sets in after you win 2.
Okay.
So Mike,
Go
based on
ahead and
voter,
go ahead and put some money on him beat MVP. Then you might as well just crumple up some dollar bills.
all right. Nikola Jovic, which in our notes you spelled his name with a
No, that was autocorrect. No,
Oh,
that
okay.
was
All
autocorrect.
right, cool. 6% roster. He's starting right now for Miami. 7.5, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. I can't believe you said that 2 assists for a big man is good. That's not good.
Okay. Our recent shows, we've been having ball hogs that don't even average an assist a game.
Okay, fair
AKA
enough.
Cam Whitmore. All right. If a big man is giving you 2 assists per game, I feel like that's noteworthy.
Noteworthy. Cam Whitmore is one of 2 teams, the Rockets and the Wizards, that play Saturday, Sunday. So you want to look at them as stream. Stream days Tuesday, Thursday. There's 3 games on Tuesday, 5 on Thursday. The Thunder and the Kings play. Kevin Huerter, give him a look. If you got a spot open and you got a full roster, pick him up. He'll play Tuesday, Thursday, and then you can drop him because they barely play. Thunder, did we go over the games?
We went over the schedule, not necessarily back-to-backs. We said the 2 teams with 2 or 3 teams with 2. Clippers, Bucks, Kings.
Okay. I don't know if we mentioned that, but yeah, so the Kings, the only 2 games that they do play is that Tuesday and Thursday. So they're actually stream candidates, and then you can move on from said player. Malik Monk's there. You gotta grab him.
Oh, he's a dog.
Yeah. Especially in like those close games. He really steps up big time.
I've been watching a lot of Kings games, man. He's smooth. I will say the one thing about Jovic, look at that. That's categories league, giving you a little bit of everything. Look at that, 1.3 blocks per game. And the thing we know about Miami is they have a tight rotation. They play 8, 9 guys, usually max. They won by 17 against the Hornets yesterday, and Robinson only got 2 minutes. So
what? No, that's incorrect.
Oh, I meant Orlando Robinson, not Duncan Robinson.
Oh, I'm about to say because
nah.
You said he plays 2. You gotta no one's thinking about Orlando.
Played 2 minutes. I forgot. There's 2 Robinsons on Miami.
Yeah, and that's why Jovic is a hard no for me. And Duncan
28
Robinson
minutes yesterday.
Duncan is the guy.
Jimmy Butler's out. Tyler Hero day to day.
Give me Duncan. He's less than 50% rostered. Yeah, that's 49. But this 15, 3 and 4 and 3 threes is similar to his season average. And right now he's hooping. Give me some Duncan Robinson now.
Give me Duncan Robinson. Yeah, okay, right now. Give me the guy that the Heat tried to trade away last year and averaged 6.4 points in 16 and a half minutes.
All right. He had 2 points yesterday, though.
Yeah.
23.
Yeah, that's okay. Look, they're trying to get his trade value up. Duncan Robinson, I will say, from a categories league perspective, averaging way more rebounds, way more assists. Obviously, he's playing more minutes. This is on pace for a career high in assists, 3.2. Never hit even the 2 mark in previous seasons. That's what happens when you're decimated by injuries and you get more playing time.
Hey, well, the Duncan Robinson, Bam, DHO action is a nice little like side offense that they do run. They got some good chemistry, and you can't go under on him. He's a good. I still like Duncan Robinson. He's a good player. It's hard not to root for a kid like that, and it's so funny because I had mentioned with Luke Kennard, like these are like stats that you can kind of find in the league, but like this is like almost a mirror of each other with like kind of looking at their stats, but they're still category relevant. Grayson Allen throws his name in this as well, so you can find that as opposed to like someone like Xavier Tillman, when it's just harder to find 2 steals and 2 blocks. So I don't know if that all ties in, but
Coach Duncan Robinson, Luke Kennard. Who are you taking?
I'm taking Duncan Robinson, and it's by a slight margin because I could see the potentials. But like Jaime Jaquez played 15 minutes and then he was out of the game, so he might have an injury. It's worth looking at as well. Yeah, threw that.
By the way, Jaime Jaquez first basket yesterday. Love the guy.
Oh my God, he's something else.
Oh, it was amazing. I don't think it was an injury.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been. They were up by 17 in quarter, so could have just
Last
been
but not
30.
least, Jabari Walker, in recent time has been a really good player for the Blazers and fantasy relevant. Last week, 14 points, 10.5 rebounds. The Blazers been decimated with injuries. They had 8 players suit up yesterday. Duop Reef has been somebody that was a good stream candidate for the last week. I don't know if that'll hold up, especially with Ayton on the way back. But I think Jabari Walker of kind of the question mark players that's kind of found a role a little bit. And it was cool to see Scoot go off. I mean, it took 31 shots, but Scoot had a game of his career.
Yeah, I mean, so there's a couple things I want to unpack. Jeremy Grant illness was out. Anthony Simons back in. You sure DeAndre Ayton is coming back? He's missed 11 straight games with right knee tendonitis. And this is a guy that has had knee issues in the past. Giving me a little bit of Greg Oden vibes. And by that, I just mean big men that look way older than they are, that haven't lived up to their expectation. Chauncey Billups did say Ayton is close to returning, but are you going to expect that moving forward, that he's going to be playing 25, 30 minutes a night?
I mean, I hate you. You make a good point here.
I hate you. I love you. I hate
but the
you.
Portland curse is still in effect. But it's nice to see Scooter Henderson go for 33 points, 7 boards, 9 assists yesterday. Again, it was 11 of 31 shooting, but
he took 31 shots. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Good for him.
And with that, 11.
Cam Whitmore is jealous.
Speaking of Cam Whitmore, again, you can stream them. They play Saturday, Sunday. The Rockets and the Wizards, teams that you can look at the end of the week to stream. Friday, Saturday, back-to-backs, the Hawks, the Hornets, the Sixers, and the Spurs. So, we like to mention these parts of the games played, so that way you can be on your stream. And especially with all these injuries, you got to be active if you're a fantasy owner, because if not, you're just going to be toast.
Yeah. All right, James, the Trailblazers have lost their last game by each game by double digits. So they lost by 28, by 62 again at the Thunder.
All right,
that's the biggest blowout I've ever seen in my 20 plus year. I've never seen a team win by 62.
I got a little additional information before you add. Do you know that Scoot Henderson was a minus 57 in that game?
Oh my gosh.
What?
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, minus 56.
That's awful.
The record is minus 57.
Coach, the Trailblazers have lost their last game.
Minus 56.
They've lost their last 4 games by 124 points combined. That's an average of losing a game by 31 points. That's crazy. I've never seen something and it's crazy they're not even the worst team in the NBA too.
No, this year we got some real stinkers.
But even the Pistons and the Wizards and the Spurs aren't losing like this.
Minus 56.
It
was in 31 minutes, bro. What?
Your man's.
God, talk about getting blitzed. All right, we wish the best of luck for Scooter. We've seen the goods and the bads. But yeah, stay on top of things. Doc, you got anything on this Martin Luther King Jr. Day?
If you're off work, enjoy it. Remember, there's a reason why we are off today. And best of luck in week 13. Me and Coach going to be at here week 14, helping you win your leagues.
All right. Till next week.
And check out the baseball channel too. Baseball bet is back and pumping.
Oh, the baseball guys are fabulous. If you have not watched them, they get after it. So
I'm on there.
Shout out Marty. Shout out David, the brother, which we got to get him on a pod, and all the rest of the baseball guys. All right. Peace.
Lately I've been feeling things change. We've been working hard, no sleep, get it every day. And I swear that we ain't stopping till we pay. Yeah, the pressure on, gotta make it work, triple play, yeah.